In the class we talked about how we can create a sphere shape out of a cube, and that's better because for some reasons, like if you want to create the head of your creature and you want to be able to add edge loops to that sphere shape, it's going to be easier with the cube because if you take a look at this sphere here, it has these poles on top and the bottom of it. And if you, for example, try to do insert edge loop tool, you can do that, but you don't get a loop, right? It stops at these poles, at these triangles, right? So if you want to use spheres as they are and you don't want to manipulate them, extrude them, maybe it would be a good way to just keep the spheres, but sometimes it's better to use a cube instead. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So you just create a cube with subdivision, no subdivisions, okay? So as you hit 3 on your keyboard, you can see that Maya is showing you a preview of how this object is going to look like when it is smoothed out, right? But there's no actual geometry there. So Maya is just showing us a preview of this shape. It's going to try to get an average of these two edges and create like a curve in between them. This is like a mathematical function that that Maya uses. I think it's called Catmull-Clark function. So yeah, but it's when you hit 3, it's just showing you a preview of that. It means that if you export this object and open it in another 3D application, it's not going to look like this, right? It's going to look like this because 3 is showing you a preview. What we're going to do now is that we're going to actually smooth this object in such a way that it looks like a sphere, okay? So to do that, selecting your object, you go to, while you're in the modeling menu, you go to mesh and click on smooth, okay? As you do that, you can see by default it has subdivision 1. So what it means is that before we had like these edges, so when you hit smooth the mesh with subdivision 1, Maya is going to put one edge loop in between any of the edge loops that you already have, okay? So this is close to sphere, but we want to make it more round, right? So for subdivision, I'm gonna put 2, and then Maya is gonna do this again, like it's gonna put another edge loop in between the edge loops that are already there and try to smooth this object. I'm gonna hit 2, and now this is closer to a sphere, okay? Don't go up more than 2 for now. For the beginning of your 3D modeling, you don't want to add again extra geometry where you don't need them, right? Because we can always go back, and this is the final stage of 3D modeling. We can go in and just smooth everything out. So don't worry about smoothing your polygons at the moment, okay? At the beginning, they should be bulky, okay? Making them smooth is not a big deal, but it should be at the end of the process of 3D modeling. So now it looks more like a sphere, right? Just gonna click away from it, and so if I hit 3 now, it's gonna show me how this object is gonna look like if I just smooth mesh again, okay? And this is close. This is good, okay? I'm gonna hit R to make it big. As you can see, it is really close to sphere, but it is nice because you can do insert edge loop tool on any of the directions and not just along the plane of the grid, right? So you can add edge loops anywhere. So that's that for smoothing the mesh.